Coming up on today's episode, good Friday morning to you all, YouTube. As you can see clearly before you on the picture video, I did find that E-clip. I found it just a short while ago. I was in here doing some other stuff, looking for my nail clippers for one thing, and then I ended up spilling the water I had there to do my sponge on my soldering station, and while I was cleaning that up, there it was, right there on the bench. So I didn't think it went very far. Also, I turned the tape deck upside down, or not upside down, but I basically made it shake it around a little bit, and I found another nut, which I have no idea where it came from, but I think it was one of the things that I had taken off, and I remember at the time I was going to remember it, and then I forgot it, but I think I know where it goes, so that's not a big deal either. But there, I just wanted to make sure that you did see the fact that I did get that E-clip back on there, and that was a good thing. So next thing I'm going to work on is the little idler wheel on the front and get that back on, and maybe I'll show you that when I get it done. I am back once more. Got the little clip on, and also put the idler wheel back on, as you can see. Now the idler wheel there is the main drive wheel. I didn't realize that, but it is. And I know how it works now. It basically, there's three different places here. These determine where that sits on this pulley here. And this is the motor itself, right there. And as you can see, I can turn it on and it spins. Now at the same time, this spins here. It's not, I don't think it's supposed to spin. Obviously, that's the rewind. So not really sure how to fix that, but it seems to be it's like too close to this. Maybe that needs to be adjusted some way. I don't know yet. But again, the thing that really kind of bugs me, and it really doesn't bug me, but I found is as soon as you turn to play, it will start spinning this, and then it stops. You'll watch. See, the whole motor stops. This motor's not even turning now. So there's some electronic switch somewhere that is not allowing this to be powered, and that I've got to find out where it's at. But it seemed to be it was working. Again, it's on the slowest or the smallest part of the spindle on the motor there, and that's the slowest speed. If we take well, you can't do that while it's in play. But if we move it down up to the fastest speed, you can see it's on that wide part now, and there's what happens there. Same thing. Whatever it is, as soon as I put this into play, and that has something to do with this switch here, right here, I think. Actually, over here. I don't even know how well you're seeing it. There's a switch right here that is controlled by that lever. As you can watch, it stops that, whatever that switch is there, it pushes it in. Obviously, if the motor was turning, it would be rewinding, and I think that has something to do with this position of this, and that's what I'm going to look at a little bit. I did order a service manual from Sony, actually not from Sony, but a service manual on eBay. It's a Sony service manual for this. I think it was $15. It's a PDF. It's coming on a CD. So when that comes in, I can maybe that will be helpful and just tell me what this is supposed to do. And so if so, then that'll work. So otherwise, I'm going to look at the schematic and see if there's anything there that would be helpful to show me what happens when a switch is thrown or whatever, maybe. And I don't know. That's all I can do. So all right, there. I just wanted to update you on what was going on here. So there you go. Alright, back real quick I figured it out. It's the tape present switch, or whatever you want to call that. In other words, the thing that senses the tape being on there. It's this little loop down here. you can see that works just fine. And rewind now, and I hit stop. It doesn't stop. This part, I don't know. This is an adjustment, I'm sure. But now in play, it works fine with the switch up, as you can see. And that seems to work just fine and dandy. Very happy about that. But that's what that is that tape switch. As soon as I let go of it, you can see it fell down. You can barely see there down the bottom of my finger down there, holding it up. I let go of it, everything stops. So that's what that is. Apparently it has no effect in off. It shouldn't though, because really the only thing that should be turning is the fan. But I've got to investigate this now and find out why that doesn't release the wheel over here. Like I said, it's not. It may be that it's supposed to hit it a little bit. I don't know. But again, I don't know that that's enough to. Well, it's pretty good torque on that. I mean, I can stop it, but I think it would take a tape and move that around. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. So that's the only way to stop is turn it off. So there you go. That's that much. Got figured out. Anyway, I get closer and closer. I'm going to look a little bit more deeply at this and find out if I can figure out why it's doing what it's doing. There is some stiffness there. I think there's our problem right there, I think. Yeah, that's what it was. You see, I just moved that. Watch this. And that's what that is. As soon as I move it down like that, it stops that. And that's the way it's supposed to work now, because it'll work now that way. It moves that up. Of course, I don't have the switch up. There you go. But now, as soon as I release it, it doesn't come back down. This should be coming back down like that, and it doesn't. So, obviously a spring of some kind, or just the same thing I've been running into is a glue or grease turned to glue, and so that's that. Alright, that's going to do me. I'm going to work on this section up here, getting it cleaned and lubricated. And I think that's probably the next step to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm back with you again. It is 3:19 now in the PM this afternoon. I wanted to go over this one more time because I don't think I included some of the things that I wanted to say in the last one. Mainly about this section here. That's going to be my next priority for doing this. Let me turn it on. There's play. And you can see this part here is working just fine. It's in fast speed. But you notice that is not turning. That is supposed to turn. This idler wheel here is supposed to move up. Turn this wheel here. That's the take-up wheel for the play. In other words, if you don't have this one turning, when you feed your tape in, it's not going to be able to go anywhere. It's just going to go all out in the wherever. So this has to be turning, and so this whole section here, pretty much the selector is okay. This part here has to be adjusted for fast forward. I believe that needs to go down more, and in fact that may be supposed to be underneath that instead of where it's at. That's probably why it's not going down. But anyway, that's just part of the whole thing. I had all this apart and I may have not got back together right. So that's got to be done. Like I said, all the rest of this has got to be lubed up. As soon as you put it into play, that should, like I said, put this in action. This is stiff. Well, not this one. Yeah, it is too. You can see it. It's got that same kind of delayed reaction there from when it's supposed to be moving, and it's not. So we need that fixed. There you go. You can see that. That's supposed to move with that, and it's not doing that. So there you go. That's a look at what I was wanting to point out mainly is that. Everything else is working as it should. Rewind works fine. But like I said, this part over here needs to be changed around. This is going to be my first thing here. I'm going to check all my pictures and see if that wasn't above that before. In other words, this needs to be pushed down more to where it goes underneath this piece here, because if not, see it, that goes underneath, that should be going in that. And I think that's why this won't go down when it's in play. Otherwise it should go down, I think, because this is your fast forward button. I do know that for sure because that's where it sits. And you can see it's really hard to push down. So I think that moves this all over here. But like I said, this is what I'm going to be cleaning next. And let's turn this off. And that's what I'm going to do. Now today, this is probably all I'll get done on this, because I've got to get ready to go to my daughter's for dinner. They're having dinner tonight. And I think that's at 6. And like I say, it's already 3:22. So we're going to get ready to go there. And it's a fairly nice day out. I just went out and rolled the windows down on the car. I think it's in the high 70s, low 80s, somewhere around in there. So, again, that's not too bad for 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There you go, 78. Not bad at all. And as I popped up there to see that, I see my camera battery icon is flashing red. And that only means time to change the battery. I've been noticing that I get about one video out of a battery. In other words, from start to finish, I generally can get one battery's worth of shooting out of it. And that's okay with me. I mean, you know, even if I have to, like this time, replace it in the midway of the, you know, I did all the other, the previous video that I did was on this battery as well. So this is, like I said, if I just replaced it at the beginning, I would have been perfectly alright on it. So, alright, I'm gonna get off here now and get busy doing some other stuff, and we'll catch you on the next clip. Alright, I'm back once more. It's 4:09. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to get done this quick, but it did. This was taken off and cleaned and lubed. And I even did it without totally losing a lot of parts. So now, let's just check this out. There's play. Works beautifully. The spring does what it's supposed to do and lifts that up when the tension comes off of it. So that's working good. This has got a lot of torque to it. That's the way it should be. Turn that to stop. Now, if you press this down, this is our... this was lubed up also. You see how that lifts that wheel up so it doesn't make contact? So let's do that now and turn that. You see that locks in there, so that keeps that down like it is and doesn't let that come back up. And that's fast forward. And so that's working well. So that's good too. That releases as it should, because this pops back up. And of course that is still rewind. Everything is functioning as it should be now. I've cleaned all the things that need to be cleaned. And I'm not going to clean this here. The grease is still very pliable, or very, whatever you want to call it. Now, the other thing I've noticed is I think this is not going down far enough. This may need to be adjusted a little bit further so this goes down like flat. I think this also probably needs to go down a little bit more. But I'm not really sure. I'm going to try to adjust that and see if I can do that. If I can, fine. If I can't, well, you know, something else will have to be done. But, like I say, there you go. That's a good look at it. And I think it's ready to put a tape in and see what it does. So, I've got a couple of 3 tapes you may recall from the other tape recorder, or tape player, tape deck. And none of them have audio on both channels. I'd like to, if this would record, I would like to put some audio on the tape so I can use it for testing of the other one, because I'd like to know more about that. But like I said, this is all free now. This is doing very well, and I'm very happy about the way this came out. And I think that's about it. Also, this the tape, little double-sided tape on the back of this, came off. So I've got to get this off and put some fresh double-sided tape, I guess is what that is. Only thing I can figure out what it would be. It goes in like that. I'll have to clean these lenses off and stuff like that, but that's not a big deal either. So all that's got to be done. I don't think I'm going to put all this back on for right now. I think I'm going to leave it like it is in case there's something else that needs to be adjusted or something once I get the service manual. And so I think, like I say, that's what I'm going to do for right now. And I think that's a really good look at how it's working. And it's even quieted down a little bit, I do believe. It's my thought it did anyway. It used to have a little knocking noise. So, got a little bit there, not much. That's just the motor spinning, I think, is all that is. Now, I'm not really sure about the motor capacitor, the run start capacitor on the motor. I don't think this has as much torque as it should have. I can put a little pressure on that and slow it down. Of course, that's quite a bit of pressure to put on it. So, I don't know for sure, but it seems to be running good. I don't think it's getting hot. So, I've got to clean that off. The fan blade I've got a bunch of gunk on it. I got to find out where this nut came. I found a nut earlier when I was looking for that clip, and I don't know where it actually goes. I put it over here in this tray, I thought. Now I don't see. Oh, there it is. This nut here came off the back of something, off the back of that. Like now, this stud here, right here, has a nut on the back of it. It was actually loose, and this whole thing was kind of tight or swaying in the breeze. And so I've tightened that up and got that all cleaned up and everything, and that's working well now. It's not loose at all, and I think it's going to be good. I really do. So, very happy with that. I just got to find out what the other one is, that there's something else that's missing the nut. Unless there's another possibility that somebody else was working on this and lost that nut that went onto this one, same way I did. And, you know, that's a possibility. But these studs, some of them have nuts on them, some of them are just stamped into the chassis and riveted, or what are you going to call that. So, you know, that's kind of a situation where you got to do that. You know, I'm looking at this. I think I may go ahead and clean that off, because I can get to every bit of that and clean all that old grease off. Now, the grease itself is not in bad shape. I mean, it's a little sticky, but overall it's not bad. And I think I might try to do that. It's not that a big a deal. I mean, that works really good. Not hard at all to push. And this is probably the main part, is this grease up there. But I could clean some of that off, I'm sure, and I may do that. I don't know. We'll see. I probably should do everything I can do at this time, and like I say, put that synthetic grease in there. That should last a long time. And so I've been doing it on these things here. I did it on this one here, and so, you know, I do it when I can, and so that's what I've been doing. Alright, that's going to do me. I know I've talked too long again. I got to get ready to go to my daughter's again. It's 4 something. I got to be out there at 6. So, alright, you guys have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Good Saturday afternoon to you guys. I have most of the functions working on this now. I'm missing one important function, I think. Get this out of the way. And that is basically the trying to find my little pointy stick. You know how that goes, always missing when you need it. Oh, there it is, right there in front of my eyes. I have all of this behind here, underneath here I should say, cleaned out. This is all working perfectly. These things flap up and down. I may not have them adjusted quite right, because like Jack was pointing out with his, they don't go all the way down when it's on stop. And you can see, let me turn it on. You can see that when you turn it on play, they do work. I mean, they flap up just like they're supposed to. This all works. That's fine. That works really good. All of this is working now up here. This bar is loose enough to where it allows it to turn on and off and do what it's supposed to do. Rewind works perfectly. I took the not this one, but this one up here, and re-lubed all of that, and I did the same thing here. Did that one and this one here as well for fast forward. Fast forward does work now, and I will show you that. Let me push in on the thing. Get down like that, and then when you press that, that's fast forward. Now, the problem I'm having, as you can see, this is locked down here by this tab, which I assume that's correct. The problem I'm having is this capstan is still attached to the pinch roller. In other words, this did not go back down like it's supposed to, like it does in Rewind. And I'm sure with that still attached like that, there's not going to be any fast forward. It's not going to be able to, even though the reel's turning, I mean, it's just going to pull on that, stretch the tape or whatever, and that can't be right. So again, that's my problem. There's got to be something over here I'm missing, and I keep saying over here, and I'm not really pointing to it. Over in this area that I'm missing, I don't know what it is. Jack, I was hoping maybe you could remember maybe what you did to get that to work, or if you maybe it didn't even have to worry about it. I don't know. But this part here I've got lubed. You can see that moves in and out just like it's supposed to. That's for the fast forward button. And it causes the idler wheel to change from one place to the other where it doesn't affect the anything. So that's what that works well. So the way I see it, when you put that in fast forward, I'll do it again, and switch that. The only thing over here that it does is, you know, move this thing a little bit. It moves it up a little bit. You can see this ramp here. I know I'm not using my pointer, but you can see there's a ramp here, and I'm sure that has something to do with it. So I don't know, but I would think, and maybe there's something I'm missing up here. I don't know, but I would think this would release the capstan. Again, you can see it's turning. It's full. It's got the full up against the capstan. The pinch roller is. So that obviously again can't be allowed to work that way. So I'm wondering if I'm missing something somewhere or something. I think I have everything lubed good up here now. I don't think there's anything that's sticky up here. And to my way of thinking, either that bar, when that bar is moved over, it has to do something. But I just don't know. And that's my problem. But like I say, other than the fast forward, this thing is working great. And I have no problem with it at all, and I'm just really happy with it. So that's that. I don't see how to make this work. And you can do this without the power on too. You do the same thing. You just press that down and make it switch in there. You can see it doesn't have any effect on this stuff over here, and I think it should. But again, see, there's a rewind. And you see the things are down now, and obviously it'll let the tape go through there just fine, but not in fast forward. So there's either got to be something when you press this down here, there's something else that needs to kick in, or something of that nature. And that's the problem I'm having. Alright, that's going to do me. I just wanted to let you know. I'll good Monday afternoon to you all, YouTube. It's 3:38 now in the PM. Here with you at the bench once more. We're looking at the same thing we've been looking at the last couple of videos. And I apologize for that. I don't like to keep on the same thing, but I would like to get this at least to the point where I can put a tape in it and test it. And I don't really want to do that until I get this problem solved that I've had now and ask everybody about. Of course, you won't see it until tomorrow, but I did get the service manual in, the Sony service manual. There's what it looks like. That's how I bought it on a CD. And that's loaded into the computer now. And also, it's just a PDF file. I think it was only 40 megabyte. It's not that big. And I have sent a link to Jack as well on that, and he can download at his leisure. One thing I've learned so far by looking at the manual is there's a lot of bending of metal parts and fine adjustments on this. Now, I didn't really realize that it was not a precision engineered piece of equipment, but one of the things that is obviously needs to be adjusted more is this. I think it needs to come down that way, and the tabs on it, there's a tab this side and a tab on this side that push down on these things. They need to be adjusted downward or outward or something to make sure that they actually push down these all the way, because they are supposed to be all the way down and off and rewind and fast forward. Now, one of the other things I thought about while I was sitting there thinking about things is this position of this lever here, and it's also over here, you can do it the same thing, I think has something to do with what that does. And you can see I'm moving that up, and that does in fact do something. Now, not much over here on this side. I think I tried to use the screwdriver on it and lift it up that way, but I don't think it really did much. Yeah, it does too. There you go. See? That's what I was talking about. That's the thing that it needs to do, and it's not doing. You can see there how far down they are. They are all the way down, and that's where it needs to be at. Now, I need to figure out why it's doing that, and it may have to take that deck back off again. And I don't really want to, but I may have to, because like I say, that's where it's supposed to be. And I think if it's where it's supposed to be in there, when you do put it into fast forward, it will be in such a position that it won't be making contact with this capstan, or the pinch roller won't be. So I think, you know, even if it was like it is right now, it's far enough away, it's not making contact, as you can see. You can see if I put it in play, it does make contact, but if it's an off or rewind, and you can see it does move a little bit more down and rewind, and I'm trying to see why it's doing that, and I have not been able to. Oh, this thing up here. Okay, let's look at this up here. This thing, watch this thing here when I move that lever. You see what's happening? I think that might be the answer to our problem. That's all the way down as far as that's going, and when it goes there, I think it relieves the tension on it or whatever, and that allows it to come back up a little bit. See, it goes back down. That's the only thing I can see, because it's not even touching this part over here that I can see. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. This lever here is moving against it, and does move it a little bit, I do believe. Maybe not. I'm going to get in there and look a little closer with my magnification glasses. I think maybe that might be part of the problem. But it seems to push up on that, and maybe that's not pushing up far enough. I don't know. But that's the thing I'm trying to figure out, is what needs to be adjusted in order to get that done. Again, when you push in the fast forward like that, and then you put it in fast forward, whoops, like that, that also pushes off. But see, that's all the way over on that side now, that lever is, and I haven't put it in fast forward. There you go. So that makes a big difference there, I think. And I don't know what that does, but it moves that, but it moves it this way now, and so that wouldn't make any difference on that, I don't think. So I get one bit closer. Okay, now on this one you can see this is over here on this side now, and that leaves it up against the pinch roller now. So that has nothing to do with, in other words, pushing down on that has nothing to do with it, because as you can see, going this way doesn't do it. So there's nothing. It's all got to be over here on this side, and I've just got to figure that out. I also figured out, I think, that this is slightly misadjusted. I think from what I can see in the service manual, this needs to be right in the center. It's an elongated hole, and it actually needs to be moved over that way just a hair more. And I'm going to try doing that, loosen up all 4 screws and just move the whole thing over until all of them are underneath. There's no free space. You can see there's a little bit of a space there, I think. I don't know if you can or not. But like I said, see if I can zoom in on that. Let's see, there's a little bit of a free space right there. Not doing too good a zooming job, but you can see what I'm talking about. And it needs to go over this way a little bit more, so I think that's the problem there. Let me get back out like I was. Also, before I forget and start talking too much, I got one of the cameras I ordered, or bought, I should say, on Goodwill. There it is. It's a Nikon Coolpix S6100, I believe. I can't see a number on it, but there it is. Yeah, S6100. So I've got that now, but unfortunately the battery is dead and I do not have a cable for it. It takes a special cable, much like my Olympus does. I had to order a cable for it, and I've already got the cable ordered, and it should be here hopefully this week sometime, and I can play around with that. In addition to that, I think I told you about the JVC I bought. But I went hog wild and bought a Sony Handycam. Yes, I did. I'm going to flash up a picture of it so that you can see what I bought. Now, this one was complete. I found one on Goodwill, and it just didn't... it didn't have much. I think it was just the camera itself. I don't think there was anything with it. But I put in a bid of, I don't know, $30, I think. And I got outbid right away. In other words, somebody had a higher bid in. So I got to thinking, you know, I wanted to see what I was missing out on. So I started looking up reviews and things like that on them. For the one that I was getting, HDR CX160, I think, from memory, I think is the number. This is supposed to be a pretty decent camera. And I think it will be a nice addition to my collection. And once it gets here, and it has been shipped, and when I say it has been shipped, they've got a tracking number. And having shipped out a lot of BDST kits, I know how that works. You basically get that tracking number, and then it doesn't do anything, just as I thought, until you actually mail it, take it to the post office and mail it. Then it starts showing up on tracking. But anyway, long story short, and I've done messed that up. That should be here in addition to the JVC one that I bought on Goodwill. So altogether I got 3 new cameras to play around with once I get the proper cables. Now I think the one, the Sony Handycam has a built-in USB cable, so it will be easy enough to charge the battery. And if you looked at the pictures of it, it comes with some extras. It has 2 extended capacity batteries, and it has the charger, and it has... I don't know what all. I tell you the truth, I forgot. It's been so long. I did this the other day, and Bob and I were comparing notes on things. He bought I think 1 or 2, maybe 1 camera. I can't remember what he bought, but he got that. So that will be coming for him, and hopefully that means he's going to be making some more videos. That's the way I look at things like that. But anyway, I think that's him on the text there. I'm going to get off here, and like I said, I'm going to pursue my train of thought is, like I said, going to be on this area here and getting that working, and hopefully that will prove to be the answer I'm looking for. And I'm also going to adjust this tape deck, or head deck I should say, over a little bit and get that in the proper position. And so once I do that, if it doesn't make a difference, then I can start adjusting other things. I want to get these parts over here. You can barely see it down to the bottom left corner of your screen. Want to get that done, and some other things. So I think I've talked long enough and made a long enough video, and I think that will do it for this time. Of course, it will be posted tomorrow morning early, and so hopefully somebody will have an idea about that, if maybe I've overlooked something, or I'm not on the right track, let me know, because I definitely need to be on the right track. I'd like to get this tested. I want to find a decent tape with music on it or something, and I've been told that they're out there. They're just kind of expensive, and I may try to find out and see, and if I can find a decent priced one and order one off of eBay or whatever, and get that here, so I'll have something to play on this and test it out with. So that's that. That's all she wrote, and you know how that went. The whole tale on that one goes. So you guys have a great day. It's raining here. Let me give you a little bit of a sneak peek out of there, and you can see the rain dripping out of the gutter there from the neighbors, and water on the ground. It is raining. Has been raining probably about an hour here. In fact, it started raining just as I went to get out and get my manual thing out of my CD out of the mailbox, because the mailman had just ran. And there was a slight break in the rain, and I went out and got it, and then luckily it didn't get wet. So then it started raining, stayed raining quite a bit. So anyway, that's that. And like I said, you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and we will